with lots of thunder and lightning coming down and just downpours of rain. I'll zoom in just a little bit farther. We're not really concerned too much in terms of tornadic activity, but certainly there is the possibility we could pick up a little bit of hail in this storm. But let me just take a look here at some of the other radar products that we can do. You can see sometimes when we have lots of lightning, that is indicative of very heavy rainfall, and I think that's going to be the case here. And so flash flooding may become imminent as this storm moves into parts of Houston County here in just a few minutes. But first of all, let's take a look at what we'll talk about, the winds inside that storm. And no storm reports with that storm currently, so there's no reports of any kind of hail or anything of that nature. When we look at the hail inside that storm, there is a little bit of hail that's just crossed over into Trinity County and the southwestern part of Anderson County, Houston County, I should say, just west of Grapeland. So that's the hail core that we need to track. And so if I widen that out just a little bit, I want to widen that out for you and track that hail core, again, moving at about 35 miles an hour. So that hail core, and we're going to concentrate right on that hail core as it moves northeastward. So is that going to hit Alto? It looks like it stays northwest of Alto, but Elkhart, Slocum here, 428 to 437 with that hail core that is measuring quarter to perhaps $half sized hail. Now, again, this is going to be radar estimated, so we'll need some ground truth to know for sure that we were getting that type of hail inside that storm. But just looking at that, you can see we certainly have that possibility. I'll zoom all the way down here onto that hail core and see if we get another update and if it comes down just a little bit. So that purple would even take us from $half to golf ball. So there's likely a very strong inflow and updraft in this storm right now that is creating some of that larger hail inside that storm. So that's pretty impressive as we look at it. Estimated rainfall in the last hour, so you're talking about maybe 1.5 to maybe 2 inches of rainfall also coming down inside that storm. That's a tremendous amount of rain at that time. So pretty impressive when we also look at that. Let me look at estimated rainfall in the last 1 hour. This should add up here. It'll total up pretty fast on us. And I'm going to guess it's probably going to be in that 1 to 1.5 inch range. So a lot of rain in addition to that hail coming with that storm that's in Anderson County right now and parts of Houston County. Here it comes. So you can see purple's 1.5 just north of Flow. Let me widen that out for us so we can kind of get a feel for Oakwood or over toward Nineveh. So that type of rainfall, that heavy rainfall, Elkhart over toward Raynard, over toward Slocum and Grapeland. Eventually, that's where those storms or that type of rainfall is headed at this time. So very heavy rainfall headed into those areas. All right, let's take a look at, I want to take a look at our wind tracker here. So we're not seeing a ton of wind with it in terms of any type of spin, so that's certainly good news. Let's go back to just our radar and look at the storm itself. Anywhere that we see that little bit of gray, that would indicate that there may be some hail inside that storm. So right now, we have that possibility with that storm. All right, let me widen everything back out here. Anderson, Freestone, Leon County till 4:45 on that warning. Looks like we got a couple in, this is a new warning. So this is still the Anderson, Freestone, and Leon County storm that is warned. Now that storm again is moving into Jacksonville soon. So that storm moves into Jacksonville. It looks like some moderate to heavy rainfall moving into Tyler, moderate to heavy rainfall also around Gilmer and Mineola. And then we've got some thunderstorms up here toward Linden, Jefferson, and Marshall. All right, so I'm going to widen that all out and I'm going to throw this into motion for us just so we can get a feel for the movement and direction. In fact, the heaviest part of the thunderstorm looks like it's headed closer to Houston and Trinity County. And of course, this is the area that's under the watch, Angelina County into Nacogdoches all the way over towards San Augustine County. So those thunderstorms, this thunderstorm complex, and anytime you see that leading edge that has that little Boeing shape to it, that certainly means that we could be talking about some severe wind gusts that could be reaching 58 to 60, 65 miles an hour. And also I showed you the hail core in there right on the Anderson and Houston County line that was headed toward Grapeland that may have some golf ball sized hail inside that. So that's a pretty impressive storm that we're looking at right here. All right, let me go forward and check out our rainfall today. Now, these totals are not even going to come close. In fact, this is the Crockett total over the last 24 hours, so that's certainly going to get added to it. But look at Corsicana, 3.5 inches of rainfall in the last 24 hours. So as that heavy rain moves into parts of East Texas, we're going to add to this 24-hour total of Jacksonville. That's from yesterday. Henderson had a 1/4 inch of rain yesterday. So all these areas are still waiting for that additional rainfall to move in to those areas. Future Skycast here. This is 7 o'clock this evening. We have this shower thunderstorm complex moving through that we're seeing now. By tomorrow morning, dry. Though a couple of more showers could pop up over deep East Texas. That's the best chance of rain tomorrow. We halved the weather impact alert down to just Friday afternoon. Saturday looks good. We've got the CBS 19 Urban Kids Fishing Derby. Saturday night, however, we do have a chance for a few showers and thunderstorms moving through areas, I'd say, along Interstate 20 and up to the north. And then Sunday morning, it dries back out. So rain chance is there, 40% chance on Friday, 30% chance Saturday, down to a 20% chance on Sunday, a break Monday, but we're ramping things back up Tuesday and Wednesday with as high as a 60% chance of rain on Wednesday. All right, satellite and radar picture here again. What I'm going to wait for here is to see if we get, this is really taking on the shape of a classic mesoconvective system, or an MCS. We're getting a nice cool pool of rain behind this. And so we're getting a little area of high pressure here. Likely we'll see an area of low pressure start to spin up on this end and down here. And so those two areas of low pressure, remember, winds always flow from high to low. So the winds are going to start to push very strong on that flank as it moves toward Palestine and Crockett. So we may be looking at some pretty strong wind gusts moving into Houston and Anderson County. The question is, how far to the east does this thunderstorm complex make it before it begins to weaken? That's why the watch is out until about 8 o'clock. So we think at least till 8 o'clock, and then things should start to wind down. You'll notice behind it, look how the air is spreading out. There's a large area, a little meso high that develops behind thunderstorm complexes like this, and the air is sinking back here. So we're going to clear it. Once this moves away this evening, we'll clear out, and it should be a pretty decent overnight. All right, here's Future Skycast. This is 7 o'clock tonight. Showers, thunderstorms from Tyler to Jacksonville down to Crockett. Areas north of Interstate 20 likely drying out. And then by the time we make it to tomorrow morning, that storm is gone. There's a couple of isolated showers trying to come into deep East Texas tomorrow. Just about a 30 to 40% chance. Saturday, we're fishing at 10 a.m. for the CBS 19 Urban Kids Fishing Derby. Then Saturday afternoon, evening, a couple of isolated showers are popping up there. And then on Sunday at 1 o'clock, we are dry, we're warm, but we're muggy. Then our attention turns to the next week, next Tuesday, Wednesday. We've got a pretty classic late April, early May setup for severe weather. You've got a strong area of low pressure out in the southwest. You've got an area of high pressure anchored over the eastern part of the United States. Of course, winds always flow from high to low, so around that high clockwise flow, these are going to be surface winds coming into the southeast, into Texas, Oklahoma, up to Kansas. And then winds aloft are out of the southwest, so that promotes just natural turning in the atmosphere. And it can also support updrafts. There's plenty of humidity here. There'll be plenty of energy. And so what I've done is I've combined the Storm Prediction Center's two outlooks from Tuesday and Wednesday. The enhanced risk is already out for southern parts of Minnesota, all of Iowa, northwest Missouri. This is Tuesday. And then Wednesday, it spreads a little farther to the southeast. We're barely getting clipped now. We were a little more in that outlooked area, but we're barely getting clipped now. Let me zoom in here so you can see. It really looks like it's kind of just north of Interstate 30 here. We'll have to see. This could get extended easily down into more of East Texas once we get closer to next week. But right now, we're just kind of on the edge of that severe weather outlook. And here's another look at all of the outlooks today. There's just some scattered showers and thunderstorms around the area. Rainfall chances next week, 70% chance of rainfall in Tyler up toward Memphis. I mean, we have a chance to see a lot of rain here. Look at this. These reds and purples, 2 to 3 to 4 inches of rainfall. We're getting into, once we get to early May and we go through May into the middle part of June, it is on average the rainiest period of time in East Texas. So we pick up more than 5 inches on average in May of rain, and June isn't far behind. So these types of rains, we need these rains. We don't want the severe weather that comes with it. Severe weather season, believe it or not, is going to peak in East Texas right around May 6th to 12th. That means we still have chances for severe weather, but the peak of the season is around that May 6th to 12th time frame, and then the severe weather threats start to shift back to the northwest. Doesn't mean that we still don't get lots of rain off of maybe severe weather in West Texas or western Oklahoma, and those thunderstorm complexes move back into our area, and this is kind of indicative of that. But as you look at this, you're just talking about 2.5, 3, 4 inches of rain in the next 7 days, and trust me, we'll want that once we get farther into May and into June, and of course summertime. We can get a lot of rainfall, get ahead as we head into the summer season. Of course, that has that swamp cooler effect. This hot air comes over moist ground. It evaporates the moisture in the ground, and it actually cools the air down a little bit, so it prevents us from seeing those 105 to 110 plus on end, just non-ending throughout the summertime like we had a couple years ago. All right, here's your Baylor Scott & White Texas Spine Joint Hospital 7-day forecast weather impact for Friday. I put a 40% chance of scattered showers afternoon. I almost thought about dropping this, but I left it in. Isolated thunderstorms Saturday afternoon, not widespread enough to prompt a weather impact alert. Sundays, partly cloudy. Mondays, mostly cloudy. We're back to the scattered thunderstorms. Tuesday, Wednesday, you may be asking yourself, well, Brett, why haven't you put a weather impact alert on Tuesday and Wednesday? I want to see how much space, how much real estate in East Texas is covered by the chance for thunderstorms, and the time. It could be late night with scattered thunderstorms or early morning, Tuesday into Wednesday, and that might kind of suppress the severe weather threat just a little bit. So we'll wait and see on that. We still have a couple of days. It's always best this time of year, though, to have your severe weather plan ready to go. All right, so that'll do it for this stream here on CBS 19 Plus, and of course on our YouTube channel. Appreciate your time this afternoon. We're on CBS 19 News at 5:11. Update on the showers and thunderstorms rolling through East Texas this afternoon.